Brought to you by Rebels Creed. Hey guys, what's up? This is Kirsten Weiss, and today we're going to talk about Conceal Carry. Throughout the years, you guys have asked me a ton of questions about Conceal Carry, and frankly, I have avoided answering most of them because I find that Conceal Carry is such a personal thing, and there's so much responsibility talking about it. But I figured we'd break it down today because why not? And I'm going to show you a little bit mainly about the gun that I use. Now, this gun is not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. I'd like to experiment with even more. Have experienced some. I'm saving up for others. And it is the SIG Sauer p238, and it's a little gem of a gun. There's pros and cons to this, and we're going to be real about it. I wanted to share this with you because, frankly, I'm getting sick of the questions. There's so many. So let's dampen some of them. Before we begin, this is completely empty, okay? The whole video, if it's in the camera, I'm not shooting the target, it's empty. It is empty. Let's clear that up. So, the SIG Sauer p238 has been around for a while, and I am going to speak completely bluntly about it. I've got no skin in the game, and I want you guys to know my true thoughts on this. The most important thing is not completely write off a gun, unless it's a horror show, but not completely write off a gun just because somebody says they don't like it, and don't go out and buy it just because somebody says they do. Figure out which gun works for you and which one fits your hands best, and ideally shoot it before you buy it. The nice thing about this is that it's a 380 and it's small. This is a very concealable gun. But in recent years, there have been a ton of manufacturers making small 9mm. It's kind of counterintuitive, but I actually enjoy shooting a 9mm that's a small gun, well, almost any gun, but that's a small gun, versus a 380. The recoil is different, does have a snap to it. Now the slide is really easy to pull back. So if you're a weaker person or aren't used to racking slides, then you're not going to have a problem with this gun. The magazine is also extremely easy to load because it is 380 and the spring is nice. Now, I have had this gun for a while, so maybe the spring has just gotten a little bit old, but it is very simple for me to load. It's even more simple than 9mm magazines. So that's an advantage of a 380 over 9. Mine also has an extended magazine. It gives me one extra, so I actually can carry 7, or if I have one in the chamber, technically 7 + 1, 8 rounds. I like the extended mag also because it gives me a little bit more room for my grip and a little bit more support. I would think that almost everybody would enjoy an extended mag on this gun. It doesn't make it much bigger, and I have small hands. If I like it, then anyone with bigger hands is gonna really enjoy it. I have these pearl grips on it, well, broken pearl grips, it's a long story, but I have the pearl grips on it, and I've been meaning to change these out for a long time, and frankly, I just got lazy and didn't. My hands do slide slightly on this. It would be better if it had maybe serrations of some sort, or stippling, or just a little bit more grip. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend these beautiful pearl handles, but they are pretty, so it depends on what you want. And the scrolling on this is lovely. It's just a really beautiful gun. Beauty doesn't matter if it's not going to protect you. This will protect you if you know how to handle it. friends, this episode features Rebels Creed, a patriotic apparel company founded on Thomas Jefferson's quote, "When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty." If you believe in true freedom and the protection of our basic rights, this creed is for you. It's inspired by the brave rebels who came before us and the same passionate spirit inside each of us today. It's more than gear. It's a creed that unites us and shows we are rebels with a cause. Check out the description for more info, deals, and to win an exclusive way to hang out with me. We are rebels. This is our creed. Now back to the show. The trigger is beautiful on this gun. It's very smooth, very consistent, and it is a heavier trigger. It's about 7.5 to 8 pounds, but it doesn't feel like that at all. The sights on this are quite nice. They come with the gun. I have not had an issue with them at all. That's a plus. However, with Conceal Carry, I'm not sure that you even really need sights. You should, well, this is what I do. I don't want to tell people what to do with Conceal Carry because, again, it is very personal and there's a lot of responsibility when talking about this. What I do most times, sometimes I will use the sights to really train controlling the gun, etc. But a lot of times you want it to be instinctual. Well, I want it to be instinctual. So what I do is I just point and shoot. I try to not think about the sights because since I'm a precision shooter mainly, I think about sights a lot. But when I want to just do some concealed carry training, I just point, right? You just point, and most situations happen in a very small distance. You don't want to take the time to like line up those sights. You just want to instinctually shoot, and you want to train yourself to instinctually shoot. At least that's what I want to do. Again, even though I'm saying you have to decide for yourself. One of the downsides of this style of gun, and that's why I would like to replace it with a different gun for many reasons. I'd like a 9mm, but I also want to stray away from hammer-fire guns. So a lot can go wrong with a hammer-fire gun when you conceal carry. It can get snagged on clothing. I have not had that problem with this, but it can. The more simple you can make your concealed carry situation, the better. You want to keep it very, very simple. And this gun is slightly more complicated than other concealed carry choices in recent years. Another shortcoming of this style of gun, if you're carrying one in the chamber, you have to flip that safety on for your own safety. Then you have to train to flip the safety off, otherwise the gun will not fire. You have to keep that in mind. Again, just train whatever you choose. Here's the thing, it's your level of comfort when you're carrying. And if you're not going to carry a gun because you're afraid of different safety issues, even if they're imagined or not, then make it right for you, because having a gun on you is better than not having a gun on you. Depending on the situation, if you're not going to carry with one in the chamber at all, then don't carry with one in the chamber and carry your gun and train to rack that slide before you shoot. I hear a lot of you freaking out about that and be like, oh, well, what's the point of carrying if you're not going to carry one in the chamber? It is a comfort level, and don't let anyone shame you into deciding what is right for you when it comes to concealed carry. Whatever you do with your concealed carry option, you must train with it. I can't emphasize that enough. You have to train with it. You can't just decide, oh, it's up here, so it's all good. No, you have to get that body memory down and just make it second nature. A lot of these smaller concealed carry guns are great for concealability, but not that great for big hands. I have smaller hands, I'm a chick. If you have big hands, pretty much every little gun is gonna be a little bit of a struggle for you. It's like a bear pawning a little apple. It's like, raw. And so you gotta figure out what works for you. I don't know why I did that analogy. Sometimes I'm in the desert a little too long. My brain gets a little fried. Obviously I like bigger guns, but this is concealed carry, so you have to figure and factor that in, that you can't always get what you want, but you can try sometime, and you just might get what you need. I really need to get out of the desert. Take everything that everyone says with a grain of salt until you actually experience the gun, you actually shoot it, you actually hold it in your hands. What's good for me might not be good for you. What's good for you might not be good for me. If you want to know more about different guns, let's do it. Put it down in the comments. Tell me what you want to see. Thank you so much for joining me. Aim true and happy shooting. Be safe out there.